My Everest. I even like the way it sounds. Was
Yeah.
it? Did you start off intending it to do that? How did this entire concept sort of come to you?
Yeah, so we've for a few years now been sort of blazing the trail in micro ownership,
Mm-hmm.
and we have a business called miRunners, which
Yes.
goes out and buys expensive horses and divides them into 1,000 units. So $300,000 horse people can buy into for $300, or
Right.
a $200,000 horse they can buy for $200. And that micro ownership model has really started to take off in Australia,
Yeah.
and we've seen thousands and thousands of new people come into
Right.
racing as a result. And the opportunity presented for us to purchase a slot in the Everest and further build on the micro ownership movement. We're big
Yeah.
believers in what micro ownership can do for racing, not just in Australia but around the world.
Absolutely.
And we thought, there's probably no better way to further advance micro ownership than through the richest sprint race on the planet. And here we are.
No, absolutely. I think that the you have a very noble goal and a very the right time to implement it. I mean, it all just came together with COVID. Sincerely think that with COVID, so many people were exposed to racing that this year there's a additional interest in the industry, and people are looking at new ways of getting involved. So your My Everest launch has come at the right time.
Yeah, absolutely. Racing's got its challenges, as a lot of sports do and a lot of industries do, but we do think that having these extra set of eyes on the sport, it is a big opportunity, and we've got some big plans in terms of rolling out micro ownership across Australia and then across the globe. And as you say, no better time to do it now, and probably no better race on the planet to do it than the Everest. The excitement that was with that race is it's right up there, isn't it? And we're really excited to have just everyday Australians who would never dream of being involved in a $15 million race. They'll be in there up to their necks in it.
Yeah, exactly. And from what I understand, they even get an opportunity to sort of get involved in the voting process as to which horse is going to be selected.
That's right. Yeah, we've got an outstanding panel which will help them, and so there's 4 on that panel, and the 5th panel member is the slot holders, the owners of the slot, and they'll all vote in who their selection is, and that'll be the 5th vote on the panel. So combined with this esteemed panel, it'll make for some really interesting discussions as we in the lead into the Everest.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. And going back to your the people that can buy a slot, I just wanted to ask: is it necessarily one person, or can a group of people come together and buy a slot for $880?
Yeah, we're encouraging the latter.
Okay.
So we're getting a lot of single people doing it. But we're also encouraging groups to get together. So that might be a school group, a football team, a social group, and 10 of them get together. It's $88 each. They all go in and then receive all the content from the panel and all the build up to the race. So it's a really social thing to do. They split the prize money, so they might get a check at the end of it where they can have a bit of a party together. But the engagement, the fun, the excitement that they'll have as a group it's one of those lifetime opportunities. So, to answer your question, we're very much encouraging groups to go out there and buy that slot together.
Fantastic. And can I ask, to take another sort of step back, how did you get involved in miRunners? How did the whole thing come about? How did you get involved in racing, and how did miRunners sort of kick off your association here?
Yeah, okay. So I've got a financial markets background, which is there's a lot of unitization, I guess, in financial markets. I have also, I'm a co-owner in a stud here in Australia, and I've seen the challenges that the industry is facing, and I've also seen how wonderful ownership can be, and I've seen that racing has got something that no other sport has, and that is that incredible thrill of ownership. And you look at racing, and that 99% of people are ruled out through cost. However, there is such a huge audience of people who would fall in love with it if they were just given the chance to be able to afford it. So I guess that knowledge I had through my financial markets career and seeing what was going on in the sport, it just seems crazy to me that an industry would rule out 99% of its constituents. And we tested the whole micro ownership model over the last couple of years, and I can tell you, people don't care how big their share is. If they've got a premium animal that's gives them a chance of competing on the big stage, it doesn't matter whether they've got a 1/1000th or 50%. Yeah, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, even the hair of a tail works as long as they can say they own a horse, right, or a slot 100%. In the Everest, for that.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right, and that is the beauty of this industry. It is people are falling in love with the animal. They're falling in love with the experience, and we've just got to let more people get involved and more people taste it, because it's a wonderful sport, as you know.
Absolutely. So when are you looking to sort of announce your runner? When does this whole process kick off?
Yeah, it's going to start to get pretty exciting. We've had a number of panel discussions. We've interviewed, as part of the My Everest experience, we've interviewed a number of the key players. And the panel's pretty keen to see horses actually come back into the spring before making a call. It's as everyone knows, a lot can change from campaign to campaign. Absolutely. And there's a couple of really exciting rising 3-year-olds, and we want to see them come back and see them do it. And it's going to be really, really intriguing to see a number of these horses come back and compete. So the answer is it's the panel's decision. Right. They are really good at what they do.
Absolutely.
And they're going to make their call as the horses come back into the spring. We're going to have to be careful that we don't wait too long.
Absolutely.
Saying that yes came, he was in the last, I think, 11 days before the Everest, his slot was secured last year. So there's a lot to be said for moving quickly, like the TAB have done with Nature Strip. But there's also a bit to be said by just sitting back and seeing what unfolds.
True, because this year there's a lot of new faces, a lot of new horses, new 3-year-olds coming out to the sort of rising to the top, rather than some of the old names that kept coming up again and again. So you have probably some waiting involved as a good thing, because you get to see how they perform, at least once they hit the spring carnival once they hit the tracks once again in the spring carnival.
Yeah, no, it's an exciting year from that in that regard. It's probably the most open Everest, aside from the favourite who's got full rights to that favouritism. But as we know with Nature Strip, he's a little unpredictable. We just got to hope he has an off day on Everest. Aside from Nature Strip, there's so many possibilities here this year, and we've just asked one of our panel experts to do to list his 5 left of centre selections, so horses that may not be so obvious to everyone. And this guy's a gun, and we're going to be sharing that with our slot holders over the next